everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of DYC, the Woman and the Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Deirdre White Cole, DYC Martial Arts, and I have my brother here, Grandmaster Myleril Anderson, and I'm excited to introduce him to you all, for you all that don't know him. So first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to interview you. I know we talked about
absolutely honored to be here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely honored.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we talked about it for a while, and now it's finally coming to fruition. So again, I just want to tell you thank you. I know you're a busy man. Yeah, he got a whole lot of stuff going on. You'll hear about some of it. He's a humble being too. But today, I just want to highlight and put the spotlight on him, because I think he's doing some incredible things for the community and really overall for the world. So this is a brother that you really want to know. So we'll start off by asking, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from California, good old West Coast, and now I live in the A. Okay. I love it out here though.
Okay. How long you been in Georgia?
I've been in Georgia probably now, well over a decade. After you pass 10 years, you just stop counting. But I'll always be a Cali boy. I'm always from LA. Yeah. But it's one of those things. I grew up in Pasadena, of course, but when you live someplace over a decade, this is when I've spent most of my adult life. So
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And so for those of you that don't know, we go back, I want to say it might be going on 10 years now. It's been a little over 10 years.
A little over 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, we go back, and it's interesting how we met. I was actually working for one of your students, PJ, one of your black girls, Miss PJ.
Yeah.
She hired me to help her, and this was shortly after I moved to Georgia myself, to help her run a kids program after school. And we were teaching these beautiful little babies or whatever. And part of her training for that was to come and train with her teacher.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, I remember
you remember that?
And
so then, so she brought me to the dojo, and I met you, and it was just like, oh wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just had all these different, different things that, that kind of like, bound us together, and at that time I was, had just recently retired as a law enforcement officer in Milwaukee, as a police detective myself. So we had that connection, and you were telling me how you wanted to become a police officer, and you wanted to become a firearms trainer, and you wanted to do all these things.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me that everything that you told me you wanted to do back then, you have literally manifested that and more. So I just wanted to tell you, congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate that.
And I know how humble you are. You don't always want to talk about it, and you're always lifting and boosting other people up, but I just want to give you your flowers and your kudos right now, because I think that's pretty dope. Because I was having conversations with you, and you were, basically you were, like I said, manifesting it. And now here it is. Here it is, y'all. Here it is. He is the man. He is the man. He is the man. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what was it that, where did your passion come from wanting to do those things, from wanting to be a law enforcement officer and a public servant and that kind of thing? Where does that come from?
Oh, so we're going to go back in time a little bit. So what happened was I actually wanted to be in the military. And so I tried to be in the military. I tried to do Air Force. I tried to do Marine. I tried to do Army. I tried to do Navy. They all told me no. It wasn't because I was a bad guy. It's because I have eczema, I have allergies, I have issues, and they were just like, absolutely not. You can't have allergies, eczema, and asthma trying to be in the military. They just absolutely said no. So I definitely knew I wanted to put on a uniform. I just didn't know that it was going to end up being a law enforcement uniform. But I always knew I wanted to serve. That was absolutely never something I had to think about. It wasn't something I had to kind of, I don't really know what my future holds. I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know it was going to be in that lane. And then as time went on, I just never allowed it to stop me. Even so that when I moved out to Georgia, I did a lot of research on all these different type of groups, and I actually ended up being in the Georgia Defense Force, which is basically like military just for Georgia. I didn't serve that long, but right in the end of that year, that's when I actually started to hear back from a lot of the police departments, because that is a process that takes a very long time. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to go apply Monday, I'm going to get hired Friday, and I'm going to hit them streets the next. Nah, the process took me well over a couple of years, and then you have different ins and outs, background checks, this, and then one small, minute, tiny thing can kick you out the process. And
facts.
And it's just one of those things. That's how I kind of got to that police world. funny enough, what happened, because I've actually wrote a little bit of curriculums across the United States.
Okay.
So I've actually helped a lot of private security companies, and a lot of them kind of get their kickstarts on their curriculum and how to get it to that next level. Okay. And what happened was, during those time years ago, I just felt that I wanted to write something for either the government or like federal agencies or even law enforcement, because I did so much teaching. And what happened was, I used to go to different departments trying to get them to basically read my curriculum. But it's kind of hard to get people to read your curriculum when you don't wear the badge. It wasn't that they were like disrespectful to me. It was almost like I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yes.
And so it was almost like, okay, well, I'm going to become an officer. So that was like the next step that kind of pushed me in that direction. So it was like multiple things I kept seeing that kind of was like, okay, first it was the military route. Okay, then officer route was there. Then it was like I used to write all these curriculums, and then it was like, okay, I got one for law enforcement. But they were kind of like, again, they weren't disrespectful or nothing, but it's like, how do you, like, before I became a parent, trying to give people advice about children, they're kind of like, bruh, you don't have a child, you really don't know, and it's kind of like a club of its own. So I said, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I made my mind up. I stuck to it, got through law enforcement school and the police academy. And then at that time, and currently, I am my department's training instructor. So I teach the defensive tactics, the first aid, the firearms training, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And hold that point, because I want to get back to that. That's important. But what I want the listeners to know is what I just got from that is the key thing that you did. You had a plan.
Yes.
You had a goal. You had several goals. But even bigger than that, you had the tenacity to stick to it and not give up.
Absolutely.
You know, when you go knocking on doors and some of those doors didn't open for you, you didn't go like, I mean, sometimes you might have, you know how warriors do. Sometimes we retreat. Exactly. You know what I mean? And we have to come up with another plan. But what you didn't do is you did not give up. You kept that tenacity because you knew what you wanted to do. You knew you wanted to be a trainer. You knew you wanted to be an officer. You knew with those credentials, you could reach more people and you could help more people. And so I'm just grateful that you didn't give up, because a lot of times, you know, it's hard for us, especially as African Americans, you know, to break through certain, you know, ceilings or walls or whatever. And we have to try even harder than other people. And that's just real talk. The fact that you didn't give up and now you sit here in this Black excellence right here. And I think that, you know, I just think that that's amazing. So that's something that I want people to get from that is, write the vision, make it plain. Have a goal, but also have the tenacity. And I'm guessing that part of that tenacity innately probably came from your training in martial arts too. We'll talk about that.
Just my
and the DNA and who you are. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so kudos to you for not giving up and for, you know, steadying the course. You know what I mean? Because
I always try to tell people, success is the opportunity met with the preparation. If you are prepared when the opportunity comes, you're going to be successful. But a lot of people, they don't really want to do the work. Even if it gets hard, it doesn't. Now, granted, of course, you don't know what you don't know, but you can't quit. You have to continue on. Even if it gets hard, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And I just didn't let it stop me. But it was, you know, part upbringing, part martial arts, and probably just a mix of it all. There's no magic formula. It's just you make your mind up. But
how bad do you want it?
Yeah. I tell a lot of, even the young men I help mentor, you know, those, I want to become a doctor, but you don't really want to go to school for 8, 10, 12 years, however long it takes. And that's really not something you really want to do. So don't waste your time there. I knew what I wanted to do. So there wasn't another option. It was just I was going to. Granted, I didn't know it was going to take me this long, but I made it. So I'm not in a sprint. I'm on a journey. And that journey is going to be however long that it takes. I'm not racing against nobody but myself. I'm in a one-man race. I'm going to get there as long as I get there. Yes, absolutely. You have to.
Big time.
You have to.
Man, that's amazing. So then let's talk about, you mentioned all those different things, and you started to talk about all those different things that you do now, which is, man, I mean, your resume, your credentials, and I know you're a young man. So I know you said it took you a long time, but you're still so young in the sense that you've accomplished so much at your young age, so much more than a lot of people, you know, with years beyond you have. So I would think too that you know, you're destined to be doing what you're doing. Even though, like I said, you know, we talked about earlier, you and I were having a conversation. When something don't happen when we want it to, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Correct. So delayed does not mean denied. It just means just that. It's delayed, and timing is everything. So timing is, you know, especially God's timing is perfect. And I know you're a man of faith, so we know that God's timing is perfect. So if you don't get anything else out of this interview, know that, you know, timing is everything. Have goals and don't give up and don't quit on yourself, because this is what the manifestation looks like, y'all. So now let's talk about, so I know you train people all over the world, right? So let's talk about your program specifically, TAF. Tell us about what the acronym TAF stands for, so, when you created it, and you know, how you assist people with that.
So TAF came about back in, I thought about the idea about 2013, 2014. I actually became a business around 2015. And that's kind of what geared towards me writing people's curriculum, because I was doing it on my own for so long. And what TAF means is Tactical Armed Fighting Force. It actually has changed from that into TAF Academy. Sorry, I apologize. TAF Training Academy. It is a change that literally just happened this year, because what happened was when a lot of people heard tactical and then armed and then fighting force, it didn't necessarily like push people away, but a lot of people felt like, you know, I don't know if I can be a part of this training academy. I don't know, because I'm not tactful enough. Some people are a little scared to even touch a firearm. So the arm part's kind of like, nah, I'm good. And then they're like, fighting, I don't want to fight. I don't want to do that. And then force, well, I'm not trying to really be a part of a team and not really understanding what we're doing over here. And so just this year, I did change it to TAF Training Academy, which kind of sounds a little less tactical, I guess you could say. But it has already made such an adjustment. And a part of that is also, not to go offside, but a part of me taking Black Armed Academy actually helped me get to that mindset when it came to the marketing aspect of that, of this whole TAF Training Academy thing. But that's another side of the story. But that's how I kind of got there. And well, so this is awesome. So even teachers have a teacher. And I seeked out someone named Akithia Voss, and she actually helped me to understand a few things. And you just have to realize that to truly be successful, it does get to the point where you cannot do everything alone. You have to build a team. You have to be able to understand that even a teacher had a teacher, or a doctor had another doctor that helped a coach needs a coach. And I have no problem admitting that. I'm okay admitting that. And after taking her course, I realized there was a few things that I needed to change. And ever since then, it's just propelled ever since then, and now I sit here.
That's so awesome. That is so awesome. And so now, where do you do your training? Do they come to you? You go to them? Or you do both? Or
actually, I do training all over the United States. I'm not now. My headquarters is in Georgia. Okay, but you don't have to live in Georgia to necessarily train with me. I host different classes. Like I just came from SHOT Show last week. I was there for a full week. And then I'll be in Las Vegas again, making some instructors at the end of February. And then I'm just doing classes. And this past weekend, I'll be in Alabama. I will go wherever that I need to go, or where my audience needs me to go there. It just has to make sense, right? And as long as we can put it on the calendar, as long as we can plan it accordingly, as long as we handle our business the right way, Marlo Anderson will come to you. It's not a problem at all. We just have to do it in a timely manner, because you can't call me today, say, hey, in 1 hour, I'm gonna need you in DC. That may not happen, because if I'm already teaching a class, I'm not going to tell my class, hey, you guys, I got a bigger contract. And I got it. That's not how you do business. Everyone, small, big, and in between, matters to me. And that's and I'm real big.
You've always been like that ever since I've known you. So, and before we wrap it up too, I want to give you an opportunity to let people know how they can contact you.
Absolutely. Okay.
Your phone number, social media handles, and that kind of thing, in case they want to, reach out to you for training and that kind of thing. So let's talk about NAGA.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us, Mr. Sharpshooter, cover of the Sharpshooter magazine, y'all, right here.
So NAGA stands for the National African American Gun Association. I am the training director over there.
Awesome.
Is Mr. Philip Smith is the president, and he brought me aboard a little over a year, maybe year and a few months ago. It's been a phenomenal journey. It's one of those things where I've had the opportunity and to really go and propel training in another direction and on a whole nother level. I've been a part of a lot of the SOPs, a lot of the way we just do business over there, and it's just a phenomenal place.
Y'all don't know SOP, standard
operating procedures. I apologize. Like, what does SOP mean? My apologies.
I knew what he meant.
It's a phenomenal
So you helped
job.
to write the curriculum and everything like that, do the training and all of that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So I'm over all the trainers, all 5 regions, but I do not do it by myself. A lot of people, yes, I may have a title, but again, being a boss or a CEO of something, you learn that a good CEO or a management does not do it alone. They find the people that do it better than them.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And so I have a phenomenal team underneath me. They always have my back. They always take care of, they're like my right brain and my left brain. My whole brain's not working. But collectively together, we do it as a collective. And it's just an honor to be a part of such a movement that has changed across the United States. We have over 50,000 members and over 120, 130 chapters across the United States. And we're constantly growing, and we have members in every single state in the United States. And just to be a part of something like that, it's humbling, but it's also exciting at the same time. But I know all eyes are on us, so you know.
Sometimes it's like you feel like you pinch yourself like, this is surreal. This is really like my life, because like I said, you manifested this life.
Yes.
And it's like probably even bigger than what you even actually thought in the beginning. It's just constantly growing. And you mentioned something earlier about the young men and the people that you mentor.
Yes.
So I know that, and I know from knowing you, I know that you and your school, your students, I know you do a lot of work in the community and different things like that. I know that community outreach is very important to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about your mentorship and
so it started on a small scale. I'm a black belt. I've been training in martial arts for over 30 years, and this is how you and I met. And it really started to start bringing those individuals as students and just trying to truly realize some people, they don't need a teacher. Some people, they don't even need a coach. Sometimes they just need a big brother. Sometimes they just need a friend. And really trying to subdivide and understand what was the need for that. And then as it grew, I became an alpha and I became a Mason. And then having those 2 platforms has propelled me mentoring anybody on a whole nother scale, because they already have such a platform that I can stand on and reach so many more people. So it's not like I'm this big old giant mentor and I'm doing all this stuff. All I'm doing is playing my part, being a big brother, fulfilling a need in my community for those that say that they need a need. I'm not out there banging down doors. But if I see something, I'm going to say something. If I see that there's a need, I'm going to fulfill that. That's what we need to do in our communities. And that's all that I try to do. But it's not, I can't take credit if I just do it on my own. I stand on those 2 platforms, and they've already had so many things already available for me. They come with resources once you get to the other side, and it's just been, and that in itself was a journey. Awesome. And I'm just humbled to be there.
And that's awesome, because you everything that you do, and from all the successes and all the credentials that you have, to still remain humble and to not have an ego that won't fit in the room, you know what I mean? It's so important to just, we'll talk more about that on the martial arts part of it, about, just being a peaceful warrior, a humble warrior, but at the same time, you can handle business, you know what I mean? And you're approachable. People can, I know when I first met you, I mean, you were just like you are now. You're just approachable. You're easy to talk to, and you're always willing to help, always trying to lend a hand. And so I'm not surprised at the success that you have. And I know it's going to be greater things you're going to do, even because I know that God has, chosen you because he can trust you. Because you, like I said, I say made in his image and likeness, and you're an example of Black excellence. And I just want to tell you, thank you. I appreciate you. And then I wanted to kind of segue on into, so we're sitting in this training room that we'll be in less than 2 weeks, me and my group. Boldly Be You, myself, and Grandmaster Rita, we're going to be bringing in a group of ladies for our women's empowerment training. We're going to do some martial arts training. And I think Sister Rita's going to be doing some energy healing, with her Reiki. And then the headlining part of it is going to be the martial arts, the firearms training part with you. And so, like I was telling some of the ladies, even if they've never handled, some of them are, like, well, I've never handled a gun. Well, that's okay. We got the right teacher, right? I mean, you know what I mean? We read some of those reviews, man. We've got millions of reviews out there, and people saying how they came in and they didn't have any experience or whatever, but they left feeling empowered, and you answered all the questions, and you made them feel like, So I just want to tell you, thank you. Ladies, if you haven't signed up already, go to the website, boldlybu.live, L-I-V-E, and register today. This event is happening on February 4th, and look who we have as our trainer. I mean, come on now, the national trainer. I know he's over there, but I'm not going to,
I appreciate it.
We talk about that. We always boost everybody, but it's okay though. It's okay to just, accept that, because like I said, you didn't quit. And now, because you didn't quit, here we are. You got us coming. You got all these groups that you help, and I see your stuff on social media. You help a lot of people. You do a lot of trainings. You bring in groups of people all the time, right?
Yes.
So this is something that you're. I can't take my eyes off of this.
But in all honesty, I do want to say this too. I want you to get your flowers as well, because you've done your thing. You have your podcast here. You're the one that's hosting this event. I'm just a guest that's helping teach some of those students, because that's a big thing. I see something on this table right now, so let's not forget that you do your thing as well, and I'm honored to be here, but you also should get your flowers, because I remember talking with you over a decade ago and really seeing where you wanted to get to with your martial arts, and you're a grandmaster, and now you're an author. You are a great mother. You are a retired detective. So let's not.
Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate all the accolades, but you need your flowers as well. And I think as a people, we need to make sure that we have this type of energy and this type of conversation, because that's big.
Thank you.
And I, as much as you appreciate me, I too appreciate you.
Thank you.
I really do.
And this also is my ancient Alpha Warrior brother, BKF brother. We both are promoted under Sijo Steve Muhammad as 8th Dan. So
yes, all the way.
Indeed.
All the way.
Yes, indeed.
All the way.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? I do want you to let the people know how they can reach you, how they can train with you via martial arts or firearms or whatever. What's the best way to contact you?
So on IG, I just have my name. I have a very unique name. It's Myloreal, Myloreal. Last name Anderson, Anderson. No space, no comma, nothing in between. That's on Instagram. So it's Myloreal Anderson. You can check out any of my websites. It's tacticalarmedfightingforce.com. No spaces in between. Just put all one word, or Mikio Surai, MIKIOSURAI.com. You guys will be able to reach me on there. And if I do not respond, one of my officer managers will get back to me. They'll get back to you, and then they'll let me know. And even if that does not happen, you can always leave a voicemail. All of my contact information is on my websites. It's not like you cannot reach me. I'm very reachable. I just ask for the professional time period to respond back. And I say between 24 to at least 72 hours, because if you call me on a Friday or you email us on a Friday, I'm not saying we're not going to get back to you on Saturday or Sunday, but give us until Monday to get back to you.
You gotta sleep, y'all.
But I promise we will get back to you. One of our team members will get back to me, and we can definitely schedule something. Again, I just ask for a realistic time frame, because I am already booked out until. I mean, we planned this 4 or 5 months ago.
It's been a while,
and we're just going to do it next month, and things are booked out like that. But if you want to train with me personally, I just need that time. But again, if you go to my websites, I have a ton of instructors. They are more than capable and competent to teach you guys. And if you guys want to be a part of that family or that process, just reach out and one of them can teach you guys. If I personally cannot, I promise you guys are in good hands at all times.
Yeah, reach out to him, y'all. This is the man right here. I'm looking forward to interviewing your student too. Yes.
Well, I can't wait for you to be here, because I think y'all scheduled 1 or 2 weeks from now. But she's good people. I just appreciate your time and just just wanted to come here and me just be a part of this.
So this is where we're going to be, y'all. Look, I mean, it's all, he's got everything all set up for us. I mean, we don't have to bring the ammo, we don't have to bring the firearms. We'll just show up, right? Just register and show up, and then he's going to take over, take us from there.
That's what I call the Bentley experience. Just come with a great attitude. Of course, your driver's license, because I got to take you on the range. And a great smile, and I provide everything in my program. I provide your eyes, your ears, your target, your ammunition, every single thing, books, pens, discount codes, everything that you're going to need to ever train. I believe that all you should come in as a student is just you. Just come in with a great attitude, come in being open. Even myself, like if I'm the smartest person in a room, I go get another room, you know? So I personally try just to be open and be willing to learn, and collectively, I can promise you this, even with no experience, my students that come in my room, I can learn something from them on any age group, because you don't know what you don't know. But when you're open to receive from everybody, you get so much more out of an experience that I like to call the Bentley experience in my classroom. Because you come in and I take it from there.
That's a good analogy. That's a great way to put it. Okay. So we're going to wrap it on up. Thank you all for tuning in.
Well, I want to get my heart on camera. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you too. Thank you.